Your tax information, if you're dependent, which means you're living with parent or guardian, you'd be putting down their income. And then what they'll do is they'll kind of calculate how much financial aid you'll need, just based on a number of factors: housing, family contribution, those sorts of things. And that's how you get access to different grants, different loans, different work-study opportunities to help you pay for college. So it's never, I want to say it's never too late, because you can still do a FAFSA, but if you want priority, and generally that comes to like the grants and stuff, the FAFSAs always do March 2nd. So please put it in your brains February 2nd. Only because after March 2nd, you don't get that priority anymore. So a lot of the types of financial aid you'll get will be the ones that you probably wouldn't want, like more loans and stuff. You want to make sure you're doing it by the deadline. Question?
So what if you can't apply for the FAFSA, but you can apply for the DREAM Act?
So DREAM Act, same. I don't know if it's like the same exact department, but it's the same deadline, and the DREAM Act is financial aid also. So that's a mistake on our part, so we'll update. So you can apply for financial aid through FAFSA or the DREAM Act. Any other questions? Cool. So have all of you guys attended orientation? I imagine so if you're a continuing student. If not, what orientation is, it orients you to the campus. What's your campus email? What are resources on campus? What's WebSmart? Those kind of important, really basic skills and information that every new student needs to learn. How to register for classes, those sorts of things. If you haven't attended orientation or you don't remember, you can always double check with the welcome desk on the first floor in the front of this building. And you say, hey, somehow I'm in class, but I never went to orientation. They'll probably be like, that's impossible. So they can always double check and just see, if something's missing or anything else like that. If you haven't taken your English or your math yet, at some point you're going to have to do the assessments for reading/writing and math. So what that is everyone familiar with that? Cool. So just to kind of do a quick recap. So essentially it's your placement test. So you'll be doing these two, and it'll determine the test will determine what level that you're going to enter in and what English class or math class you're going to start while you're at your time at Cañada. There are going to be other ways to help you with your placement. I'm not the person to kind of talk to you about how to go about that, but luckily number 5 addresses that. So if you haven't already, and I'm gonna see you show up. How many of you guys have already met with the counselor during your time at Cañada? More than once? Twice? Who tries to see their counselor once every semester at least? There's a little bit of a drop off. So you want to meet your academic counselor. They're the go-to people about pretty much everything that you guys might have a concern about. How many units do I need for this? What classes do I need to take? No matter what your path is, if you decide to do a certificate, an associate's to transfer, one track that we don't talk about is you can do your units and then transfer without an associate's if you're gung-ho and you know you're going for your bachelor's. So what they'll do is they'll create something called the Student Education Plan, which literally maps out what classes you're going to be taking every semester until you're able to graduate or transfer or whatever your goal is. So, you want to meet with the counselor to not only make a roadmap, but they'll also tell you, oh, you should be doing accounting 121, 131, English 100, and Calc, unless you hate yourself. See, Lenore's like already freaking out. And that's only 12, 14 units, something like that. So they'll also be the ones that give you that guidance that you need in terms of what's going to make the most sense with you taking stuff. A lot of times they're going to say, knock out your math and English, so you don't have to worry about it for the rest of your time here. And in addition to the SCP in classes, they'll talk to you about any concerns you do have, and they'll also help you connect. So if you're going through external things that are affecting your ability to come to class, come to school, or there's anything else going on like that, they're the ones to reach out to, and they're the ones that'll connect you and help you out through that process too. The counselors are trained to help you out and help you navigate and help you from start to finish during your time at Cañada. So as Lenore said, I represent A2B, so obviously I'm going to plug A2B. So I don't know if you guys try to get counseling during peak times, like beginning of the school year, beginning of the semester. Drop-in times can be long. If you're going to see somebody in particular, it can take 2-3 weeks to see somebody. So through A2B, the Associate Bachelor's Program, we have a dedicated counselor that can help out, that helps out business students. So what that means is, if you sign up for A2B, you're interested in business, you're interested in transfer, you can see a counselor that's reserved only for A2B students. So rather than fighting through the entire general population for a counseling appointment, you're fighting through a much smaller population. So our counselor, James McCauley, he's fan-freaking-tastic. He's really approachable. He's used to working with students in the A2B program, which means he's seeing business students regularly. He knows the ins and outs. And one of the best things you can do, not with the counselor, but with everybody, but I'm going to plug James anyway, you start developing a rapport with a counselor. So one of the benefits of that is you're building this relationship with somebody that's already dedicated to your success. So when you start seeing some that, James regularly, he'll recognize you. He already knows kind of like your situation, the context of everything going on. So you guys can go straight to business and kind of work on what support you need during that time. But if you're not a part of A2B, you're all interested in business, so you should be. But if not, just make it a habit to see a counselor at least once every semester. I like to tell students, life happens, right? You're really gung-ho, and then all of a sudden you feel like you need to withdraw from the class because, a family thing came up. Or you didn't realize that taking 121, 131, English, and Calc together was the worst idea in the world. So you want to meet with them regularly because they can help you through that process, and they'll adjust your student ed plan semester to semester. So, if you have one now, don't feel like you're married to that because things will happen, and you need to meet with a counselor to kind of readjust as you need to go. So, connected with counseling, you want to select and register for your classes. Counselor would be great for that. But if you are wondering what classes are open, you go on your web schedule. There's also printed fall schedules and spring schedules, depending on what semester's coming up. You can kind of find those in the Welcome Center. You can find them in the Learning Center right when you walk into. They'll list, who's teaching what class. The really great thing about the paper schedules is they'll also list out the degree programs, the certificate programs, and what classes you need for those. So for whatever reason you can't see a counselor, you still use that kind of as a guide. But when you select and register for classes, it's always good to have the counselor kind of review, check it out. After that, we are a college. We're not free yet, hopefully one day. But you do have to pay for classes, so the cashier's office, located at the welcome desk where you would make a counseling appointment anyway, so everything's connected. Depending on your situation, you want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time for transportation and parking. If you have to take Samtrans, I know the struggle. You kind of have to plan around that. For parking, you want to make sure you have a parking pass. I've already heard horror stories of students parking in the staff lots and getting ticketed, and that's an expensive ticket. So, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, that adds up if you're not paying attention. I made that mistake at my old school. It sucks. We're already poor college students. We don't need more debt. So just make sure you get all that arranged. Transportation, there are different programs that can help you out if you do need to take public transportation. EOPS, vet services. Talk to your counselor. They might be able to recognize other potential ways to help you out with that. Parking, talk to public safety. They know the ins and outs of all that, and they're the ones giving you the tickets. So make sure that you have your books in order. A lot of professors will, if you go into, I think, web access, yes. Web access, a lot of professors might put up their syllabus, and you can kind of see, what's that?
Canvas.
Canvas, oh, it's changing, that's right. So Canvas, whatever it's called now, I'm not an instructor, so I'll let Lenore handle that. So you just want to make sure you have your books ready. From my experience, the first day, professor will confirm if some books are optional or not. But you want to make sure you have those as soon as possible, because as Lenore said, you miss 1 or 2 days of class, or you miss 1 or 2 days of reading, and you already built yourself insurmountable hole to catch up with.
And as a department, we are working really hard to reduce the costs of textbooks. So my marketing class is less than $20. Your accountings are coming down.
65.
Yeah, so we're trying to get them not at the $200 level. So.
And I'm going to speak to you guys candidly because I'm not too far removed from my own college experience. Get the books the cheapest ways you can. We do have a bookstore, so they're always guaranteed to have the books you need and everything. But the bookstore's a little bit expensive. Amazon, half.com is really great. They're through eBay. I've gotten books where I only had to pay for shipping, whereas on Amazon it was like $10. So, do what you need to do. I feel like I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Make sure you attend class. You miss one class, you're already going to be behind. Classes move fast. Semesters may be 16 weeks, but but you miss 1 week, and you have to kind of juggle that with everything you're kind of going on currently that you needed to know from last week, and it gets messy. So, make sure you're attending class. If not, a lot of our professors on this campus are really great. Let them know what's going on ahead of time. It's usually, I would say it's better to own up beforehand and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to miss class or emergency came up, and talk to the professor and be real with them. Another great thing to do is make a buddy in class also. Have kind of like a pact, like, hey, let's both take notes. If one of us is out, I got your back, you got mine. I've had professors in the past that, as a part of our syllabus and kind of our contract, we have to get a phone number of somebody else and have them sign off on it to kind of like contractually, get to know somebody just in case. Your professors may not do that, but it's always a good practice to kind of set yourself up like safety nets. Like, plan A, go to class. Plan B, I don't make it to class, I have a professor. Plan C, I have a peer. And of course, you want to make sure you connect to as many programs as possible. There's tons and tons of statistics out there where the more connected a student is to campus through different programs, by utilizing services, visiting professors or office hours, they're the ones that are going to transfer easier. They're the ones that are going to navigate this college and succeed easier because you're getting access to services. You're building a network for yourself. Additionally, you don't know who knows who. When you connect to these different services, somebody within that service might have a hookup somewhere else. For example, I got introduced to somebody at Cañada College, and I've been offered a full-time gig there because of who I know, because I just talk to people. So you don't know who you know, so you want to make sure you're staying connected. One of the great ones is the Associate's Bachelors program. I think there's a slide dedicated to that in a couple, so I'll just talk about that in there. And then this is really small, but if you just Google steps to success, this entire list is on there with links to every single thing I talked about, like financial aid and orientation, all those sorts of things. So, hey, financial aid, So financial aid, really easy. It's on this floor. Their intake office is towards the front, close to the Welcome Center. So I heard there's a really big line now, so you kind of want to make sure that, if you can get here early, try to get to the front of the line. These sort of financial aid is really swamped at the beginning of every semester, so you want to make sure you have enough time for that. But they can answer all of your questions about different loans, work study, different grants, those sorts of things. They're also really great to help you find scholarships. How many of you guys are receiving any kind of scholarship right now? One. What if I told you, there's people out there willing to give you $500, $1,000 for putting in an application and maybe an essay? Would you write an essay for $1,000? I didn't even want to write an essay for my English class. $1,000? Are you kidding me? So connect with them. Scholarships is a really great way to help reduce that cost. So even if you are through a program where it's helping you reduce the cost, scholarships, a lot of them are merit-based, a lot of them are financial need-based. So there's some that are even both. So the more scholarships you do, the less money you'll have to pay out of pocket because it's free money. You don't pay scholarships back. Another great financial resource is SparkPoint. They're also located on this first floor, so if you ask the Welcome Center, hey, I'd like to speak with Adolfo and Julie, who are the SparkPoint director and coordinator, they're really good, or they're all about financial coaching, how to save your money, how to build your credit, how to create a savings account and actually make it useful. Because like me, I have a savings account, but I still pull from it like every month anyway, so what's the point? For me. But they're really great. They also have a food pantry, so if you or somebody you know are having challenges or food is a barrier, they have access to that. And they have a lot of great programs that'll match your savings. So they have multiple programs where if you're doing really great financial practices like savings account, paying things off, those sorts of things, they're partnered up with different organizations that'll match you dollar for dollar. So I think Opportunity Fund, if you sign up for it and you're eligible and you do everything, they'll help you create a plan where you deposit or save like $2,000, and then someone else through their partnership is going to match that, and those monies can be used for whatever. So new laptop, or if you want to save it up for whenever you transfer, whatever. It's your choice. So SparkPoint's a really great program to connect to if you don't already talk to them. And this is his bachelor's. My picture's not up there because I'm too beautiful for the screen. So, thanks, Lenore. I got one clap. So, what we are is we're all about transfer, associates to bachelors. So, one of our big services is that dedicated counseling. He's James is probably the most popular guy in our program because he's seeing students nonstop. Other services that we offer is you get to set up one-on-one meetings with Qua, me, or Sunny, and what we'll do is we'll sit you down and talk you through your goals, and really help you build kind of like that roadmap to transfer. So we can't tell you what classes to take and all that because that's James. But what we can do is we're going to help you research which programs you're interested in based on what you want. Do you need to be close to here? Are you able to leave? Are you more about the UC than the CSU or vice versa? We can help you start thinking about those questions and help you research what's the most viable, what makes the most sense. Some of you might be surprised that most CSUs offer business. Not every UC does. So sometimes I'll talk to a student that's like, I want to get my business degree at the UC. And we say, that's 3 out of 9 campuses you're limiting yourself to. So those are different things to think about. So that's another thing. We can help you kind of see through all that cluster of information and help you kind of build your own path towards that. If we can't directly support you, we'll find the person that can. So I'm not going to give you math tutoring because I want to see all of you pass. But I'm going to introduce you to the person that knows the math tutoring, that coordinates it. We'll introduce you to EOPS. If you can't find SparkPoint because there's so many different things down here, we'll walk down and we'll call Adolfo on your behalf. So in a way, we kind of play your Cañada middleman. If you can't navigate campus, we'll help you and make sure that you're getting that support that you need. So it's like having someone in your back pocket to kind of help you out whenever you need to. Like, yeah. Other stuff we do different events like this one and a bunch of other ones. We have a speaker series with the social sciences departments. We have professors doing really great lectures on stuff you may not see in class. We have different networking opportunities. So last year and this year, we've had local educators come talk to our early childhood education people about what it takes to be a great candidate. How do you find jobs? I think 2 years ago, we had somebody from Electronic Arts, one of the largest gaming companies in the industry, visit and help students network and show them about what it takes to be a candidate in that business field. We do different information sessions like these. We do different transfer related stuff. All of you guys thinking about personal statements and scholarships, now I threw it out there, we've done scholarship workshops in the past. I've worked with students that's won one $12,000 scholarship. Another student won almost $1,000 through TRIO. So we have different things going on, and we're open too. If there's a workshop that you guys are interested in that you don't see, talk to us and we can see what we can make happen. Oh, you guys want to talk about yourselves?
No.
They're here. So now's, I think, the most important part of the event, Q&A. So if you have any questions,